Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And just a few weeks ago, Luminosity Gaming dropped their entire roster ahead of the last chance qualifier and also ahead of the franchising era coming into effect next season. This XLG team has now been picked up by a new team trying to make their name in the Valorant space and get a franchise spot for next year as well. And also plenty of pro players agreeing with TenZ's perspective that a Phoenix buff might be what Valorant needs right now. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. When you're to the channel, thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Let's just crack straight on with things here. First, even Vanity right here with this kind of ridiculous play with the Neon. Honestly, so much fun to watch Neon be played. Still, the ultimate is so stupid. Like, I don't know. Someone's got to change with this ultimate, man. It just looks so ridiculous. But like, the actual agent is really fun and honestly kind of viable right now. We've kind of seen Victor use it. The nerf kind of came through and OpTic all of a sudden thought, okay, maybe this agent isn't viable. Then babybay and others started to prove that actually certainly is still viable and kind of Vanity proving that right here as well. Now, big news yesterday in the kind of esports world in general that the Envy branding is officially gone. OpTic are taking over everything. Like, eventually they merged last year, and this was effectively expected. It happened now for their Rocket League team. Of course, it happened for their Valorant team last year as well, that became OpTic, that were formerly Envy, and this was seemingly a long time coming, but still incredibly interesting, really, to me, the fact that this is happening as it has done. It's kind of sad, really, that such a storied organization as Envy has now disappeared, as FNS says right here. Thanks for taking a chance on me at Envy and Hastro, right? So, like, yeah, of course, formerly Envy, but I do think on the whole, this is an intelligent move. OpTic is a stronger brand, let's just say, than Envy, and I think that, like, as much as I like Envy as an organization, especially as a Call of Duty fan, like, Envy is such a, they just create such boring environments. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I feel like the OpTic guys, as they are now, of course, formerly Envy, are actually very entertaining and interesting personalities, but when they were Envy, I just didn't feel that at all. It just felt like they were kind of a robotic team that were just there to win, which is kind of what Envy are for, but like OpTic, I think, just do a better job getting the most sometimes out of these guys' personalities, so I think on the whole, it's an intelligent move, but I mean, yeah, this is happening across the board now, and Envy effectively is getting sunsetted, or however they describe it exactly, for the future of esports, right, unless something crazy changes on that front again, as of course it has before with the OpTic drama over the last few years. Now, even as FNS is right here real quick, because some teams are having issues in feeling well ahead of Masters Copenhagen. So firstly, FNS, of course, he tested positive a few days ago, as did his teammate Marved, I believe, and they weren't feeling great. They still won their crucial match against cNed to qualify for Masters, but after that they then lost the finals, as we looked at yesterday. So we'll see if FNS gets better soon. Of course, I guess now is the best time to feel unwell, because there's about 10 days or so, maybe, I don't know how long exactly, probably a week or so, until these guys fly out to Copenhagen for the event. Now, one player that will, of course, be flying out will be Al from Fnatic's side, if he can actually get a visa to go. So he tries to go to Izmir to actually get his visa for this event. And, well, as he says, the place where I will get a visa was burned down. I love this life, he says. So this is honestly remarkable. I'm not exactly sure why he didn't, or why the organization or whatever didn't check up that this place was actually still open before he went along. But, yeah, apparently he's kind of struggling to get a visa right now. So I'm sure there are some workarounds to this, and hopefully it's the case, because he's one of the undoubtedly most promising players at this event. I'm really excited to see him play on the main stage. It's been a real revelation for Fnatic the last few weeks or so since they made that roster change. A really phenomenal find for them, and of course, well, one of the highest rated players in the entire world, not just the EMEA region. So hopefully this works out, because as Durka says in the replies, be right back, ordering helicopter for you, right? Because Durka had the same issues, or not the same issues as this precisely, but he tested positive, right? He couldn't fly out in time to Masters in Reykjavik. By the time he could, Fnatic go out to the tourney with a substitute. So I really want to see this full strength Fnatic. Hopefully this doesn't impact their team going forwards, because I just wanted to look at right here. These, of course, are the 11 teams right now that are confirmed to be at Masters Copenhagen. The one final team will be either Ninjas in Pajamas or Crew Esports, because they were the two losers of the Latin American and the, well, Brazilian playoffs, respectively. So we'll see that over the coming days here. But it does begin on July the 10th. That's when the event begins, with the group stages from July the 10th, and then the kind of final weekend where there will be a crowd when we get down to the final few teams after we've got pretty deep in the playoffs. But there's just under 2 weeks, of course, until this event begins, and therefore there's a few days for Al to figure out what's going on, and also for FNS to hopefully feel better, and also for Turko to just stay isolated in his room so he doesn't have the same issues again. Now, I want to talk about the agent buffs as well, because a few days ago we heard the rumors that at Phoenix right now, KO and also Yoru are receiving some buffs as it presently stands on the kind of public beta environments which are being tested out. Now, you know, Phoenix's ones seem probably, well, obviously overdue. Maybe do Yoru's as well, because Yoru is played in kind of rank play and stuff, but in pro play very rarely seen. Now, KO is actually very commonly seen right now, but seemingly Valorant or Riot believe that maybe the win rate for KO on an individual level isn't quite high enough, and he might need further buffing. But I feel like he's a really strong and valid agent right now, especially in professional play. But I mean, yeah, so as BCJ says, so why are they buffing KO? So bit of a question about that right now, even as he says right here, second most played champion North America VCT playoffs. Like, I mean, yeah, look at that right in the playoffs. Chamber, 80% of the maps played. KO with 66% of the maps played. Like, Sova right here, Jet down at 30% as well. We might talk about that one tomorrow. But KO very highly played right now, so some questions about why he might be getting a buff. But TenZ is seemingly rather excited about the potential of a Phoenix buff coming into play. Of course, an agent that a lot of people had good fun with when the game first came out, but pretty much completely irrelevant for the last year or so, to be honest. And people seem to agree with TenZ that maybe a buff is about due, as Vanity says, we need Phoenix to be meta again just because of his voice lines, right? So look, we'll see what happens there. But the rumor has it, they're gonna, well, try and buff. I mean, it depends how things go in the public beta environment as to whether, like, the idea is that, okay, he can chuck the flashes a bit quicker, they last a bit longer, whether those ideas are actually going to work out in his favor, or whether he needs further changes to make him valid. Because, like, honestly, his kind of wall and stuff, you compare that to exactly what's going on right now with Neon, and there's other agents that are just so much more viable for so many different reasons that Phoenix is effectively irrelevant, right? But that's the thing right now with Riot, is they're adding more agents all the time. Like, there's a new one on the horizon as well, and then they're also going to try and buff and keep agents like Phoenix relevant. Like, there's going to be a lot of potential here for how the compositions go going forwards, so we'll see how this one works. But it would be pretty exciting if Phoenix does somehow find his way back into the meta again. Now let's talk this Luminosity gaming situation. So a few weeks ago now, LG confirmed that they've made the difficult decision to exit Valorant for the foreseeable future. They determined that they're not going to get a spot in the franchise ecosystem next year. There's very limited spots as well that actually will get one. Therefore, they decided, okay, we're just going to drop our team on its necks and just go. And maybe it was a decent decision because, like, at least they dropped them early enough such that they could get picked up by another organization for the rest of the year. They played out the rest of the stage 2, did it rather well. I was honestly impressed by LG this stage. Of course, I didn't do that much though at the playoffs, which meant that they now find themselves in the last chance qualifier, ready to go in a few. I'm pretty sure it's in August for the one final spot from North America that will qualify to the World Championship. The first 2 spots that are guaranteed will certainly be OpTic, and almost certainly will be xSet as well after their performance this time around. Now, Shopify Rebellion, an organization best known, I think, probably for their success in the female Valorant world the last few months or so, really, are actually going to be the organization that's swooping through and picking these guys up. So guess who's coming to dinner? Thought an awesome announcement video actually here from the Shopify Rebellion guys, like, you know, talking to the new team and all this type of stuff and bringing them in. So congratulations to all these guys getting picked up by this organization. Like, great job from this organization as well, executing this in such a manner. And yeah, great to see these guys have a new home going into the final event of the year. But also it's interesting from their side because Shopify Rebellion, we do know, has kind of applied for the partnership spot next season in the North American side. Now, of course, I was kind of thinking, okay, what's going to happen here? Just because they've done good things in the female Valorant side, they've made a good commitment to the team and stuff like this. And now I was thinking, okay, but is that really enough for Riot to say, okay, yeah, this organization, we want to get them involved to some degree or another? But I mean, yes, supposedly with this going through as well, that is now a more valid and viable possibility. But yeah, XLG and now Shopify Rebellion, like, yeah, impressive work, of course, from these guys this entire stage. And as B-Dog says, one of the most exciting players in North American Valorant joined Shopify Rebels, happy to stay together with the team, time for an LCQ run. So good to see, like, I mean, they said as a team they wanted to just stay together as a roster, get picked up by a new organization. They've done that for the LCQ. Is this going to be worth it for Shopify? Or like, are they effectively trying to say, look, we're here just to show that, like, you know, we mean business here in the Valorant world, and try and show Riot that yes, we are an organization that is, you know, valid and reasonable of actually getting picked up, right? And that'd be kind of interesting if they do get selected in some form or another. So it still does seem rather unlikely that this will happen, but they're at least, well, putting themselves out there, because without this move, I don't think this organization is even close to being in consideration for getting a spot next season in the franchise world. But well, at least in the partnership world, as I guess they tentatively want to call it this time around. But it's a very similar story. It's going to be a tough few months for a lot of these organizations and for the players that don't get a spot next season if their organization does not, as Moo says, happy to have represented this team as well. So pretty cool stuff. They've already done so much for us in such a short amount of time. So that's pretty interesting what they do, like boot camps, like preparations, coaching staff, all this type of stuff they might potentially bring into play to give them the best possible chance of having a run at the last chance qualifier. That'd be kind of a crazy story if they can pull it up. Now, speaking of the LCQ, this I thought was pretty phenomenal from the Brazilian last chance qualifier, of course, that will go in for the World Championship soon enough as well. They're actually going to do this on LAN in front of, I believe, like an 11,000-ish crowd. Like, I'm pretty sure that's the capacity of this venue. So that's absolutely phenomenal. It does seem like, as George Geddes points out, that like every other region is going to get a major LAN event with the crowd. Japan, of course, Copenhagen's happening as well. Now Brazil are doing it as well. And still nothing really going on in North America. Or, of course, Europe has had some as well. Like they're having Turkey, of course, soon, or Istanbul, sorry, for the World Championship. But yeah, North America seems to be immune to LAN events with the crowd for now. I'm sure it will come sooner rather than later. Now, another tourney of note that's going on right now, just to keep your eyes on, is that, well, firstly, as Purist points out, former KCP player Thief is now playing with GenG in the ongoing Night Circuit Championship. And also, Zelsis of version 1, they had a pretty decent result last night as well, taking down a team known as Windmill Isle, and then also versus TSM TSM Academy, well, 13-2, 13-6 to well, close out the first stage. These guys, despite not really doing anything for the rest of the year, they're still playing, they're still grinding it out, and yeah, this is what's going on right now. So these are the group stages. We'll just look real quick. Cloud9 are playing this tourney as well with their roster. Like, some very tight victories actually against Levitate and Virtuoso. Like, this map especially went to overtime here on the split. This is, of course, the team of zyppan, Mitch, Leaf, Vanity, and Curry right now. So they, of course, are preparing for their last chance qualifier run. But interesting to look at the way these teams are playing and preparing, just because a team like Cloud9, like, they're still trying to get their practice in these types of tourneys and the like. And yeah, this kind of the way these early group stages GSL style worked out. The playoffs then begin today with a 16-team bracket that looks like this. We'll see how Cloud9 get on. They play TSM Academy right here later on today, so we'll see if they can make a decent run here to look like they're pretty well prepared for their last chance qualifier run soon enough as well. Speaking, of course, of Masters in Copenhagen, thought this is remarkable that Tombiz points out these are some of the youngest players. There's actually plenty of players here that are even under 18. Al, of course, Zek and Loud less, or less, of course, for Loud. And then you've got even the likes of Durka's only 19, zyppan from the kind of, FBX size. Cryo's only 19 as well. Buzz, of course, on the DRX team is only 19 as well. So, phenomenal scenes, honestly, like a load of young talent. I'm really looking forward to seeing them in action, and definitely some new faces this time around as well, with the teams that have qualified this time around for Masters. Speaking of, some of the highest rated players in North America, I thought this is rather interesting. We looked at some of the highest rated players overall yesterday, but this is just on the defensive side from a duelist perspective. And the thing is, with duelists in here, they're also considering Chamber, which is probably understandable right now. But Zekan has a 1.77 rating on defense with the duelist, of course, in his back pocket. Cryo is also there, but mainly doing a lot of his damage on the attacking side. Bido, of course, formerly LG, now Shopify Rebels, as we just saw. Victor, yay, right up here as well. So rather interesting stuff, actually, that the defense is just dominated by a lot of these players. Takes some NRG worthy of mention as well. And EG looks so good before, just falling short in the playoffs. And just this clip here from Prod to finish out the video. But very much intrigued your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button. Tell us your YouTube God, this is a good video. And I like you should see it as well. And help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.